How's everybody doing there? Black Nerds United. This is Jones, your captain speaking. So, today I will be reviewing the movie Bright on Netflix. Let's see. I'm going to start with the cons first. I know a lot of people like to do pros and then go to cons. I'm going to start with the cons first. I believe it should have been a series. Also, yeah. My con is it should have been a series. Point blank period. Because they had so much they tried to tackle in that hour and 57 minutes that would have been better drawn out. Though, don't get it twisted, I did actually very much so enjoy the movie. So, let us begin. Let's see, where do I start? First of all, Joel, great performance as the Ark. That race of people, he played a hell of a role. You can see everything. His eyes played a major factor in everything he gave to you. From the beginning, I saw he was kind of timid and scary, if you will, especially being a police officer. It seemed like, from as you get through the movie, I'm not going to give any spoilers, that timidness has always been with him. Apparently, he wasn't accepted by his own race, nor wasn't accepted by the humans. So he was in a little paradox there. Also, I see a lot of people who are talking about the racial aspect they put in there. I want to say to you people, calm down. Calm down. I see some who are saying, what was the purpose of putting that in there? Others saying, oh, they didn't go strong enough. Well, it's an action-adventure type of movie. They did bring a little bit of social commentary in it with the race of the orcs and how they are divided from the rest of society and how humans and everybody else treats them. They're like the worst of the worst. There's actually one scene in there, again, no spoilers, where the character that plays opposite of Will Smith, his character says, man, why the orcs always got to be the bad guys? And there was a sheriff there who said, hey, don't ask me, they're still blaming Mexicans for the Alamo. Funny and very light. Will didn't say anything about African Americans, and that's cool. It was an action adventure. It's light. They weren't, it wasn't serious enough to tackle everything. It was just a little bit of give and take, which I enjoyed because it wasn't that type of movie to be a social commentary movie. It was an action adventure. If you watch the trailer, you're like, oh, I got to check this out. It was an action adventure. But I do appreciate them putting in the racial aspect of it in the undertones and making it, I don't think it was too heavy, and I like that, but it was light enough that you understood who kind of the orcs were or being perceived to be in society. And I think that was a very smart choice. Also, I actually like the directing, and I like how they shot the scenes. A lot of people who is their first time, they just saw it. I saw some people saying, is this a graphic novel or a comic? Like, because they could tell, and it actually was. It derived from that, and they could tell that even without knowing any too much about the source material. And for me, I like that. I like when movies do different things. I'm a different type of thinker. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do a movie. And as well, I'll say that it's all about perspective, It's the director producer job is their perspective, is basically the director's perspective on what he sees when he reads the material and puts it out there. And so I always say there's never a wrong or right answer. Like some people will be like, oh, why did he do this? Because that's what he felt in his soul he needed to do. So I really appreciate that. I liked what he did there. Pacing. Again, it should have been a series. I think it should have been a series. I think the series could have lasted a little bit. because the pacing was, it was okay, but when you got to the meat of the movie, they kind of had to rush it to get to the end. And that was another thing. Like I said, my only con is it should have been a series, because that could have been spread out so far. And the main villain, as you guys, if you have not seen it, you will see she was so badass that she could have had more scenes. I felt it could, like I said again, it could have been a series. You could have dragged her out, and because you saw how badass she was, you know what I mean? So you could have dragged her out a little bit more and played up the characters, all the characters, because I feel like if they would have did a series, certain characters like the FBI and stuff like that, you could have found more about their stories. But because they only had an hour and 57 minutes, certain things they couldn't show you too much. They just had to stretch. I do believe there should be a sequel. Again, I think it should be a series. I'm actually glad that Will Smith did this. I never thought I'd see Will Smith going to Netflix. You know, you saw Adam Sandler going to Netflix, which a lot of those movies bombed. But I think it was a great thing, not only for Netflix, not only for the streaming services, but I think it was pretty good for his career too. Because I don't want to get too much on Will, but few movies, last 3 or 4, some of them been hit or miss, really. I think this was a hit. And I think when they get to the pivotal point where they come and they're getting shot at and they enter the building, like I said, no spoilers, they enter the building, that's when it really just, it sets off everything, where you're like, oh, wow. Will, as always, he gave a great performance. He knew when to be funny. He knew when to be serious. He knew when to be dramatic. It was great. I think both the lead characters did a hell of a job. Hell of a job with their characters and bringing them really to life. And again, I'm going to keep saying it, it should have been a series. I could have seen this played out over 8 to 10 episodes. You know, it would have been, oh man, an 8 or 10 hour movie basically. Could have binge watched. It was awesome. So, let me see. As a ranking, out of 5 stars, I'm going to give it a 4. It's my personal opinion. I'm going to give it a 4. Some people, it didn't hit with them. Me, I was highly entertained. I feel that there is no such thing as a perfect movie. You can find fault in every single movie you watch. But when I watch for entertainment. I'm not watching to tear it down or watching from a director's lens point like, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't. I don't watch for that. I watch to see, does it keep my attention? Are the actors giving it their all? Story, building, pacing. And I feel like they did a great job with everything except for the pacing. It should have been a series. But regardless, I would tell you, go check out Bright. I think Bright is a pretty good film. It's light action adventure. It's Christmas time, and it's something that the whole family can't watch it. This ain't for little kids. But the olders, I feel like they could you could sit down, put this on, have some of the older people in there, and they would enjoy it and be on their seats at certain points. So that's my review. I give it a 4. And yeah, definitely think you should try it out. That's Bright. And again, I'm Renaissance Jones. Black Nerds United. Let's go. This is your captain speaking.